1994, I voted for the first time right here in the main hall at King Edward VII Preparatory School. It's a school I knew very well. It was the primary school that I had actually gone to. And I do remember being really very excited. The prospect of voting for the first time was exciting, but the prospect of voting for the first time in that election was really just incredible. It was an election that was so different to any other election we had seen in South Africa, and for the first time I was actually able to play a very small part in it. Looking back, I think the moment I first realized we were all going to be okay, I was just turning 18, and it was November, the year before 1994, when Sean Johnson, a big political editor of The Star at the time, came and spoke to us at our valedictory service just after watching the political leaders at the time signing the agreement that the first elections would happen on April the 27th. And I remember him so clearly saying, I've seen the future, I've seen it just happen, I've lived at Cadessa at the negotiations for the last few years. The new South Africa is here, it's not just coming, it's actually here. And he gave us, I think, real hope for the future. It was a very powerful address, it was so exciting, and it played a huge role in what I'm doing today now as a political journalist. I think there are two major locations that are significant to me. The first is right here because I voted here, and the idea of taking part in a political process was really important. The second one is as a reporter at the Constitutional Court. So many times I've seen the big arguments in our society playing out, the big debates among very learned people in front of very impressive, intellectually towering giants as judges. And so often I think I've been so glad that these are the people who've made some of the big decisions that really matter. The moment that I remember the most, it has to actually be 1996 itself. I was working for a corporation that's in the news from time to time, and I went as an intern to the signing of the Constitution by President Nelson Mandela in Sharpeville. And on the way back, I literally phoned from a ticky box, a call box, and said, how's it? Do you need anything from the signing of the Constitution? And they begged me to write them a voice piece and to file a voice report on the signing of the Constitution. It was an incredible privilege to be involved in that in a small way. It was just such a moment for me, and that's something I've never forgotten, particularly as I've spent so much time since then talking about the Constitution. South Africa is different from other countries because we are still forging our path. We are still writing our country in so many ways. We are still making South Africa work. And to be a part of that, to watch it happen up close, is a privilege. It's a situation I would get nowhere else. And it's a place that makes me so proud of how far we've come, of the direction and the speed that we have in moving towards the future.